If you follow me at all here on YouTube, on X, on my blog, or anywhere else on the internet, there's one thing you probably know for sure, which is that I love software development, specifically with .NET. And the second thing is that I love cycling. That's right, it's my happy place. If I'm on a bicycle, I'm happy. Whether it's outside, whether it's in a spin class, whether it's in my garage, I absolutely love it. And I love all sorts of different cycling. Again, long distance, short distance, spin classes. I can just be on my spin bike in my garage, watching YouTube, watching Hulu, watching Netflix. I just love it. I love it not only for the fitness aspect of it, but it frees my mind. And I love sort of the revolution that has come in the last 5, 6, 7 years with Peloton and other apps and other spin classes coming up, because it is a different type of exercise. And if you're like me and you love cycling and you want a little bit more, you might be looking into spin bikes. Now, I got into spin bikes by going to spin class, and I said, man, that sure would be great to have that in my house or in my garage, but they were always too expensive. So that's why during the pandemic, I actually decided to build my own sort of Peloton spin bike inside my garage. I did a post on how I put it all together using Apple Fitness Plus or the Peloton app, and I spent about $400. I did a lot of research out there. I looked at a lot of the different bikes that were available, and this is what I landed on. The Sunny bike, I had an iPad holder on it, a little cadence sensor. I put it together, and it cost me about $400 total. I did a lot of research because I was like, well, do I just do something manual? Do I do something that's a little bit fancier that's out there, like the Schwinn bikes? I said, well, do I want to spend $900, $350, do a little bit, more myself? And what I loved about the Sunny bike is the manual resistance, the 44-pound flywheel, because I was already doing spin classes before, but they were different bikes, so I just gave it a go. So what I did is I did a lot of research, watched a lot of Tail Happy, which is an awesome YouTube channel here, and I put this together. The bike, the iPad holder, the squishy seat, and the cadence sensor to read data. So it was a little bit of a manual process. It doesn't give you everything that you want, obviously. Of course, it's not going to be the same as a multi-$1,000 bike, but I loved it. I ride this thing 4 to 5 times a week in the winter. I love it so much that I actually built an app called My Cadence to get sensor data off that little cadence, so you could put it on that iPad, your iPhone, an Android phone, and actually read that data in real time. But I've been thinking to myself, well, is there a better solution out there now? I've been riding this thing for over 4 years at this point. Is there something newer? Prices come down at all? I was actually at my local Dick's Sporting Goods, and I started to look at the different Schwinn bikes and for Peloton bikes. I said, oh yeah, there's some more reasonable options. And then my friends at Yesoul reached out to me and they said, hey, we actually have a brand new bike that we'd love for you to try. It's called the Yesoul G1M Plus bike. It has a built-in screen. You can actually cast your phone to it, and we'll send you one completely for free, and we'll give a coupon code that you can give to your viewers on YouTube. So I've put links down there and a $100 off coupon code, which is just James at checkout there. So it's $500, and again, you get an extra $100 off, and it has a 360-degree screen, which is kind of rad, which is 21.5 inches, and it has this beautiful flywheel. So I said, okay, let's do it, right? Let's see if this is a good or the best Peloton alternative in here. They actually have their own streaming applications that you can stream to. So if you want all the classes and everything like that, it has sound built in, it has everything that you would need. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. Let's go ahead and get this shipped. So I said, it's free. I'll do it. Why not? So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to break apart this Yesoul 1 by putting it together, actually giving a few rides and giving you my honest review of this bike. And while Yesoul did send me this bike completely for free, they're not doing anything else to sponsors. No money being exchanged at all. Just the bike sent to my house for review. So everything that I'm going to tell you is 100% true, and to how I think I like this bike from all the other bikes that I've ridden. I've ridden, of course, my own. I've ridden different Pelotons, different Schwinn bikes. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let's unpackage this thing. I put together a few of these, and nowadays they're really simple. You open from the bottom and slide it out. And what's nice is that this is really, really nicely packaged. Lots of styrofoam, which we did recycle, which was nice. A local place recycles this styrofoam. And there's tons of great packaging in here, so they did a good job of making it small and very insulated from the elements overall. Now, most of it's put together for you automatically. You can see here, it's mostly just the top part with the monitor and these bottom feet. A lot of the components already have the screws built in, so you don't have to figure out what screw and nut goes where. It just are all automatically there for you. Here we're just going to put on the arm up top and then the handlebars. It's a very, very simple to put it together. just a few screws, so not a really big deal. And all the components are there for you automatically. Now, I did mess this up. Actually, you're only supposed to put on a few of these screws, and other ones go from the top, but I fixed that later. Now, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this with one of these arms for the TV attachment, the monitor attachment. It wasn't too complicated overall, just a few more screws that go in here. And the instructions are okay, I would say. They're not amazing, but they're also not bad. So I was able to follow them. So this is a pretty nice monitor. It's 21.5 inches, and it just has a VESA mount that you put together. You put together the actual speaker and the monitor separately, and they're just connected by one cable. And then it's just a VESA mount with a little rotating pivot up top, which is nice. So it can rotate 180 degrees. So you put it on top, pretty straightforward there. And then once you have that all set to go, the next step in the process is to just put on the water bottle holder. This is just 2 screws, super duper simple. And then the most tricky part that a lot of people mess up is actually putting on the cages for your pedals. Make sure you put them the right way. There are arrows. If you mess this up, it's bad news for the bike. So put them on the right way. It's pretty simple, and they give you nice components there. Finally, plug everything in and get on the bike, and you're good to go. Okay, so let's talk about my first impressions of the bike. It obviously has a big screen, as you can see, that kind of rotates and pivots. I'll talk about what's on the screen. There's a nice little holder here, and of course, water bottle holders, which is nice if you need 2. The bars in general are pretty nice. There's lots of different areas that you can move around on. The nice parts here are that actually adjusting this in and out are pretty easy. You just simply rotate, pull up and down. There's a lot of points that you can adjust inside of here, and the same thing on the front. I do like that you can also adjust the seat as well. So you can really kind of fine tune with those 3 points inside of here. But it does look like just a nice spin bike. As you can imagine, is quite heavy. So actually moving it around, because the little wheels are a little lackluster in my opinion, is quite hard to do. If it's just you and you're in a tighter spot like I am here, you can lift it as well. It's a little bit heavy with the flywheel, obviously. Got a lot of weight on it. But I would say the seat is really nice and squishy, so I do like that. Not too squishy. It's a nice squish, I would say, in general on it. That's nice. And of course, you have the resistance. So I'll zoom in here in a little bit, but I'll hop on the bike. But this is a magnetic resistance that's going on with a felt pad on there. So it's not 100% just magnets coming over the top. It's on the top, or on the sides. It's on the top, and the actual felt pad is applying the resistance as well onto it to give you that. So if I hop onto the bike, of course, we just have normal cages on here, nothing special. But you could, of course, swap those out, so nothing's stopping you from doing that. And, sitting on the bike, it is pretty nice. I am on top of carpet, on top of this pad, but it is a nice sort of seat that's going on here, and I can adjust it a little bit more here probably. But what I do like off the bat, and I'll show here, is the software that's on the screen. By default, it's just sort of a generic slate that's giving me just normal information, but is immediately connected. And I can see my immediate rotation and applying different resistance from 0 to 100. So that's 0 to 100% basically. And it gets pretty heavy, I would say, all the way up to a flywheel. So if I go down to 0 here, we can see what the actual adjustment is to get to 100. So let's see. I'm going to set the unicorn up here at there. So let's do 1. Actually, I'm going to wait until I get to some resistance. There we go. So let's get to 0. There we go. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so. And then you're stuck down there, which is good. So there you go. So this is nice setup. When I stand up on it, feels pretty good. I am wobbling back and forth, but I think it's just the carpet in my opinion. And there are some adjustments I can make on either side as well. But from a first impressions point of view, pretty nice bike. I'm not going to lie. I do like the entire form factor, the setup, points of adjustment, and the flywheel is pretty nice. Whereas some of the other bikes in the price range that's out there. And we'll get into some functionality in a bit, That's sort of my first impressions hopping on the bike as well, which is pretty nice. Yeah. So I do get a little bit of back and forth. Like I said, I think that is just my setup here. So first impressions, not too bad. We'll take a look at actual software and do some real rides on it. Let's get into the bike a little bit closer. So like I said, the seat is very comfortable. I've done several rides on it now. You can adjust it up and down. And the micro adjustments on the seat and the handlebars are quite pretty close. So you actually have a lot of little adjustments, which are nice. Plug in the power from behind, so make sure that you adjust it as necessary. And then, like I mentioned earlier, these are just normal cages. So this is what you'd expect at this price point, nothing fancy, but you can, of course, put in your own clips if you want. Now, I do really like the knob on this. This is nice. You can press down, left, right. It feels good. Decent placement overall, I would say, on this. I enjoy it. I really like the adjustment knobs on the front and on the back. They have a great texture on them. Really appreciate that. Pretty high quality. Let's talk about the flywheel. I love a good heavy flywheel. The Yesoul bike here has the magnetic resistance. You can see some magnets there, but also a felt pad because you don't want the magnets hitting it, of course. So you need some additional resistance. And it's really quiet as well. So there are the magnets there. So it's just 3 magnets going up and down. When you make that adjustment to the wheel, you will see it go up and down. And I'll see that here in a second. But yeah, there's that felt pad. And here we go. We go down. And of course, once you hit near 100, the felt pad is going to be the natural stop there. And like I said, it's quite quiet. So that's really nice to see. Beyond that, up top, I really like the bar here. It is sort of this W shape and has a lot of different positions that you can adjust yourself into, which I quite like. And if you're putting an iPad or an iPhone or any Android phone on here, you have a lot of adjustments on this as well. Water bottle holders, you can fit 2 of them on there if you want. Decent placement as well. So I think overall the bike, the setup is quite nice. Now let's go ahead and get into the software. So like I said, on the main display, that's going to give you everything you need if you just want to hop on and ride and listen to music if you want. And it gives you your RPMs, it gives you your resistance. You can see on the top right up here. And as I go ahead and adjust the resistance, it's going to increase and decrease. It'll give you your kilometers. I can't change it to miles for some reason, but we're all going to learn kilometers, calories, your wattage, everything if you just hop on and ride. So that's kind of nice and approachable. If you don't want to do any apps or do anything special, just hop on, ride, you got a bike. You're totally good to go. Now behind the little display here is a button that you can adjust the volume. So let me go ahead and put this down here and you can just adjust the volume on it. But if you want to, you can actually pair Bluetooth to your phone or to some other device and stream music to the display. So if you want the music coming out, you can do that as well. So that is nice there. Or for some reason, if you just want to put your phone down and stream music to it or something else, you're good. Now the power though is actually plugging it in via lightning cable or USB-C for your iOS or Android device. Now there's a Yesoul application, but you can use other apps like Zwift or Peloton or anything like that. When you plug this in, it uses HDMI just to display your phone on the screen, and it still gives you an overlay of all of your information and your metrics. So there's the Yesoul application, and of course this is a 1-to-1 mirror, so it's kind of nice. Let's go into the Yesoul app. It is sort of this sort of bright white, so it's a little bit hard to see at times. I'll do a deeper dive. But what's nice is that the application can connect over Bluetooth to the actual bike. So the app connects to the bike over Bluetooth, which means you can see your metrics inside of the application as you ride, which is nice. And it integrates quite well. So it's a standard application. You have, basically rides, workouts, other things like that. You have some sets where you can go in and see some personalized recommendations. But let's go ahead and pair it to a device. There's a little plus button. And when you tap on that, it's going to ask for normal like Bluetooth permissions and permissions to find the bike. And all you got to do is start spinning. That's going to activate the bike in the Bluetooth mode. So I'm going to start spinning the wheel down here and it's going to show me the bike and you can connect to it. Boop. And just like that, basically now the bike is connected automatically and it will display the stats. So there's a bunch of different modes in here, but there is just a sort of just ride mode, which enables you to get all the metrics. So you can see your distance, your resistance, your RPM, a little bit nicer display than the one that's built in. So that's quite nice. And you have the bonus that you can actually connect a heart rate monitor onto here as well. So that's quite cool. Now, on the top left, you always see those stats. I don't know how to get rid of it, but it's always there. No matter what you're doing, just always there. Beyond that, there is some scenic rides. Now, this app is free, but there is a paid subscription. It starts at $10 a month. You can do a yearly as well on there. And in the scenic ride, there is one or two that are free that you can just hop on and do a scenic ride on, but the other ones need the paid subscription, which I think is odd in my opinion. I would love to see more of those for free because why not? It's sort of standard on bikes in my personal opinion. But you do get your cadence, your power, your resistance, everything going on right here, which is nice. So I really do like that. Now, of course, if you're using a spin bike, you probably want some spin classes. And this is where sort of Peloton became really popular, is because you can get all the information on the screen. The instructor is telling you how fast you're supposed to be going, your resistance, and it's displayed so you can get that 1-to-1 ratio. And that's what happens here. So there's tons of classes. Some are free, most are in the subscription, but you can tap on one. And here you're going to see a few things. On the top, you're going to see the workout that's happening. You're going to see the RPM, how long, how fast you're supposed to be going for, your resistance as well. It'll tell you if you need to go up or down. You can turn on and off subtitles. You get a leaderboard. You get all the things that you would expect. And of course, you can go ahead and search for a heart rate monitor. So it's very standard sort of workout things that you would get. The only difference is that the music selection is pretty much just general music. It's not necessarily licensed music or anything like that. But if you have other things like Zwift or you're using Peloton, you can, of course, use that as well. So here I'm just going to open up the Peloton application and you can pick a class if you want. That if you're a subscriber to, you can just go ahead and boot it up, rotate your device when you start, and it's just going to go ahead and do it, right? So you're totally good to go. I'm just going to rotate it. And now you have everything you want. So there's a leaderboard going on. Now, I don't think that the cadence connects to the Peloton app. I'd have to double check on that. But I know they said that the bike can connect to Zwift and a few other applications as well. But in all, that's the software overview. And if you have a phone, you now have your phone on this big screen and the audio is coming out, which is great. And you can adjust the volume with the knob. So you have everything that you want if you're using the app or your own. Okay, let's talk about the software a little bit more here. It's a little bit hard to see on the screen, so I want to give you a little bit of an overview here. So a few things that are fascinating about the application that you get is, one, it does work very well with the bike. I'm very pleased with that overall. That being said, the application, I don't know, I kind of feel very iffy about it. I do think that, while some of it's in English, there's some typos in there. There's also other languages mixed in, as you kind of see as we kind of scroll through here. Overall, it's kind of all over the place. I think, though, that the most important part is like, how are the rides, right? I do like that it kind of keeps track of things. If you go into workout, we can say there's cycling, there is technically strength training and yoga and stretching inside of here. There's some that are a few, some that don't have that many, but there are some in here, which is nice because you get the whole package. Now, that being said, there are some free ones, but mostly you're going to have to do some paid. And if you do pay, we can see here there's about 146 30-minute classes, 1245, 60 minutes, and then 67 20-minute classes as a recording this now. So you do get that sort of aspect of it. There is some, schedule that you kind of see here of if there's live-ish, I guess. I'm not really 100% sure, but they're there. I haven't seen any challenges go on, but what I do like is the overall information that you get here. So you can see your streaks, you can see your badges. I do like getting those. That's cool. You can see all your workouts and more detail. So you get that nice information overall. So overall, I think that this is quite nice. Your zones, you'd see your heart rate all go in here. So I'm actually pretty pleased with the stats that are on this here. Now, that being said, if you did want to go in, for example, let's just say go into a scenic ride or any of the paid rides, tap on it here, we're going to see that you're going to have to pay, right? So either $10 a month, which is this offer that they have, or $70 a year, which, you get all these different things. So you get scenes, you get smart coach, you get all these different things here as well. So you get all these on-demand classes that are going on. So it's going to be up to you if that $10 a month is worth it, or if there's other applications out there. I will say overall, using and going in the classes, they're pretty good. You're not getting that licensed music that you might be used to if you go to a spin class or you go to use the Peloton application, for example. But all in all, like I said, the application is pretty good. And, you know, I think it's halfway decent and it works well with the bike. And if you have a few hundred classes, you'll probably have enough to pick from for a while if you did want to do the $10 a month. But if you just want to use some free ones, there's also at least some in there. So I am appreciative of that. And I've done quite a few of the free ones now, and I've liked them quite a bit. All right, let me wrap up by giving my sort of final impressions and thoughts here overall on the Yesoul bike. Now, I've been on a lot of bikes overall, whether they're at the gym, whether they are Peloton bikes at a friend's house, whether it's the bikes that I built, or different cheaper bikes that have been out here. For the price of $400 to $500, this is a very good bike. I'm very pleased with the overall feature set, the build quality, the ease of putting it together. The downsides of the bike is that it's quite heavy to move. The big screen obviously makes it heavier to move compared to one that doesn't have a screen, but that's, that has a screen on it. I think that the software overall is good, but that isn't what makes the bike. I like that you can plug in a phone and use any application. That's a big perk. And I do like that they have this overlay on the screen, so you always have that information available. Or if you do use the Yesoul application, it is built in, which is a nice touch as well. The build, like I said, is great on the bike. So for the price, I'm very, very pleased with it. So I do think that my recommendation on this bike is if you're looking at this price point, I give it a thumbs up. I give it a nice A rating. Is it at that caliber of multiple $1,000 bikes? No, because it's a $400 or $500 bike. But that being said, compared to the bike that I built, which was leather resistance, compared to this, I mean, it's a pretty good value. So the value for build quality is definitely up there. So I'm really appreciative of that overall on this bike. So that's sort of my overall on it. I do really enjoy it. I thanks for Yesoul for sending me the bike, and I'll definitely use it quite a bit. I've already used it quite a lot. And yeah, I think the only other things that I can say is if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below if you do want to give it a go. But you can also use my coupon code. It's James. You can use that at checkout to get $100 off the bike. And thanks to Yesoul for sending me the bike and for letting me review it. And I hope that you found this a little bit entertaining and informational. Let me know if you want me to do more reviews like this in the future of things that I'm passionate about. Let me know below. I appreciate it. Till next one. Thanks for watching.